Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. And in this video we are going to be continuing on with our C# tutorial series. And in this tutorial we are going to be taking a look at passing values as parameters to methods via value and by reference. Alright, so I'm going to remove this code here. So let's kind of talk about what the differences are when you're passing by value and by reference. Okay, so by default, when you pass a variable, just a value, I guess generally as a parameter to a method, what it will do is it will create a copy of that value and use it in the method, and it does not affect the original value that you passed in. That is passing it by value, right? And then if you're passing it by reference, what it will do is it's simply referencing the value of referencing the value that you pass in, and any modifications that happen to it in the method apply to the original value you passed in. So let's say you have an integer called x, right? An integer x with the value of, say, 12. And then you have a method where you pass that value in by reference. All right? And in that method, it modifies x by multiplying it, it multiplies it by 4. When that value is passed in, it doesn't create a copy or anything like that. No, the mutation of multiplying x by 4 applies to the original value that you're referencing. So then x outside the method then becomes 48. If you don't quite understand it, that's fine. Let's go ahead and write some code so we can demonstrate how this works. We've shown what passing something by value looks like already, because every time we've written a method, we've been passing it by value the entire time. But we can go ahead and show you anyway. So here we've got private static void. We'll call this pass by value int x. And then we're just going to say x equals, or x times equals 12. Or by 10, times equals 10, right? So what this will do is it'll just say x equals x times 10. Okay? Pretty simple stuff. If we go into our main method and we have an integer called x, we set it equal to 10, and we can say pass by value x. And then we console.writeLine x, and we run our code. You can see the original value is still 10, because when we print out x, it's still 10. If this were passed by reference, however, you would have 10 times 10, which is 100, and then the original value of x would be 100. Let's see how that works. All right. So we're gonna have another line here. All right. So let's go ahead and have pass. In fact, you know what? Let's have a different variable. int y is equal to 12. Okay, so we have 12. And here we can say pass by ref. When we call a method where we're passing something in by reference, inside the parentheses we need to do ref, and then give it the value that we want to put in there. So in this case, y. So we're passing y in by reference. Okay, and then let's go ahead and put private static void pass by ref. And then inside of the parentheses for the signature of the method, we're going to say ref int x, let's say. Well, or rather, we'll call it y, just so it matches. Open up the body of our method, and then we can say y times equals, and let's say 12. Okay, and so now, when we run our code, and we print out y, y will be 144. Okay? So let's go to our method. Let's go to our main method, and console.writeLine y. Go ahead and run your code. And so you can see here, when we still get 10 from passing by value because the x didn't change. However, because we pass y in by value, or rather by reference, I should say, because we pass it in by reference, the modification that was made to y in the method itself, it applied to the original value we passed in, and so when we printed out y, we get 144. So that is how we can utilize methods and parameters to pass different values in by value or reference. However, before we end the video, I want to end off with a little bit of a disclaimer. While passing by reference can be useful, it can also be dangerous. It can also make your code very hard to read, hard to understand, and hard to follow. So only pass things by reference when you absolutely have to. If you do not have to, do not do it. Because you never know if in your jumbled mess of a code base, if it is a jumbled mess, or if you just have a giant code base where there's a bunch of methods, a bunch of classes, your code base is just generally large. You never know if when you're passing something in by reference, you never know whether or not you're modifying something important that shouldn't be modified for whatever reason, or you're modifying something when it shouldn't be, or something like that. So be careful with it. Generally speaking, it's not common to pass things by reference, but when you do, you got to be careful with it. That pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we will see you all in the next one.